The FCC just voted to kill net neutrality. It's confirmed today. Google the vote to kill net neutrality in the search bar of google.com right now and inform yourself. I invite you to. What does this mean? This means that the government just voted and confirmed that the internet is no longer, for the time being, nothing's set in stone yet. Congress can still overturn this. I'll lead with the good news. This can still be overturned by Congress if good hearts and sound rational minds prevail. This can be overturned. Those that care about the internet and its freedom are currently rallying to go ham and call and email their congressmen, their senators, and their representatives to overturn this. And I believe that a lot of the mainstream media won't be covering this very heavily, which is why I feel very called, as soon as I learned that that happened, to share it here on Facebook Live. What does this mean? Let me paint you a picture. This vote by the FCC now allows ISPs, or internet service providers, Comcast, AT&T, to control traffic to certain websites. So for example, if you hadn't paid for a certain service through your internet service provider, you might go to facebook.com and a pop-up would come up. Whoops, sorry, this site has been blocked by your ISP because you haven't paid for the premium package this month. Please click the link to upgrade to the premium package for $49.99. Or let me paint you another picture. You type in netflix.com because you want to catch up on your favorite TV show. You hit enter. Block, a red screen comes up. Sorry, netflix.com is no longer part of your bandwidth package with your ISP. Please click the link to go to our video streaming service for $19.99. This is literally a real possibility right now. I'm not making any of this up. I'm also not an expert. I haven't done hours of research. I have done a few hours of research. It's something very near and dear to me. And I'll tell you why. The internet is the greatest information distribution system that we've ever had. Okay? Let me say that again. The internet, the World Wide Web, is the greatest distribution system of free ideas on the free market of ideas, and the best community building platform that humanity has ever had. And it is sum total good. And it's good for democracy. It's good for rational, open source discussions. And this, for the first time, this has been in the works for years and it's been talked about, but the vote just passed. So it's time to activate. I'm talking to myself. It's time to activate and stop playing small and stop realizing that there are interests that want to stop the free flow of information and ideas. And if you're watching this video right now, first off, I love you and I appreciate you. You are part of this. You are on the internet. You use it every single day, not just for Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and Netflix, but for your bank statements, to keep in touch with loved ones, to share memories, to send important messages. It's tied up in our lives now, completely. And what is not acceptable on any level for me is an interest driven by any kind of corporate mindset that wants to funnel more dollars into something, limiting it whatsoever. I believe this is bad government, this is bad mindset, and is now revealing to us, much has been happening, I think, in the whole sphere of entertainment, industry, business, and politics. I feel like a reckoning's been happening this year. All this sexual assault is coming out of the shadows. Political corruption's coming out of the shadows. We've elected the most absurd president of all time, coming out of the shadows. The shadow work is real right now. 2017 is a huge initiation year, and it's not over yet, clearly. It's still happening. So if you're watching this video, I invite you to share it with your friends right now who need to know about this and who need to inform themselves about what internet neutrality means. And what it means to me is that the internet should be kept a free and open space for ideas and entrepreneurs and businesses and movements and positive community building with no questions asked. There's no reason that your website, because you're not in bed with your ISP, you're not in bed with Comcast or AT&T supporting their products, should be given lower bandwidth. And that's what this ruling today will allow things like that.
Oh, no.
They could give your website lower bandwidth. You were on the call, Jordan. They just passed, they just voted to kill net neutrality. It's over.
Whoa!
They can literally cut bandwidth and change which traffic goes to which website now.
That just happened?
It just happened today. They just voted. It just went through.
Oh man, it ain't gonna last.
Time to go to war. I don't think it is either. I think if enough people get powerfully activated and disseminate this information, like as millennials, you know, I identify as like a millennial or whatever, but like, I mean, I'm labeled as one, but those of us that use the internet all the time, this really matters. Also, our parents, the baby boomers, the older generations, they're using the internet a ton as well. It matters to them. And they may not realize it yet because they may not use the internet as much, but the internet's an open form of information. We can't have limits on it. As soon as information is limited, this is a very dark pathway. Information should be kept free. That's what the foundation of this country was based on. I believe the light side of this country. A free market. First for ideas, then for economics. A free market. This is what the old pubs and taverns were the people that founded this country, escaping repression, escaping the lack of information, the lack of freedom of religion, the lack of freedom of speech, escaping old systems. This country was founded on the idea that we should have free dissemination of good ideas. Good ideas should be allowed to prevail in a free system where they're allowed to be like, man, is that a good idea? I'm going to decide for myself. I'm going to decide for myself with my individual idea. And that should be allowed to continue to happen. That should be allowed to continue to happen. And the internet is the best way for it to happen. Look up the Arab Spring. Go to google.com, go to Wikipedia, look up the Arab Spring, all of the revolutions that happened in the Middle East. What was the number one thing that kept the people powerful against very corrupt governments? It was the internet. It was the internet where they could still build community and communicate with each other while extreme totalitarian corruption and violence was happening. The internet is the method that is going to set us free. And I believe that with all my heart. That's why I will create more content. I will continue to talk about this. I will let my community know. And I will empower myself to live an even more radically authentic and empowered life. And that's my invitation to you. I love you all. This isn't over. I don't believe in violence and taking life except for to defend life. But make no mistake, this is a war, and this is a war on consciousness and free information. It's happening. And it's actually exciting. It's exciting because now the shadows are out in the open. This isn't about duality and like us versus them or anything like that. The real war and the true enemy, if you want to use that word, is inside yourself. Dethrone the tyrant within first, then we dethrone the external tyrants. Namaste.